CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Havana calling. CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Radio Havana calling all shortwave listeners and radio amateurs. Welcome to DXers Unlimited, Radio Havana's weekly feature dedicated to the fascinating world of radio communications.
Hola, amigos radio aficionados all around the world. As always, you are most welcome to another edition of DXers Unlimited, your favorite radio hobby program. I am Arnaldo Arnicodo, radio amateur CO2KK, and here is item 1. Very low solar activity during the past several days. Item 2. An update about the narrow 7 kHz wide segment of the radio spectrum from 472 to 479 kHz that is receiving a lot of attention by radio experimenters all around the world. The below AM broadcast band frequencies between 472 and 479 kHz, also known as the 630 meters band, is now becoming a mainstream amateur band, according to a recent statement by well-known low-frequency bands propagation expert Fritz Rapp, W1FR. The coordinator of the ARRL's WD2XSH 600-meter experimental group, Fritz Rapp, W1FR, said in his latest report that 630 meters is becoming quite active, with both amateur radio and also the presence of Part 5 experimental stations taking advantage of that band of frequencies. Band activity has been very high, and there are often more WSPR stations, more than 110 stations using the Whisper technology on 472 kHz than on 80 and 160 meters. Rapp also said that Whisper, which stands for Weak Signal Propagation Reporter, is a software designed for transmitting and receiving low-power transmissions to test propagation path on medium frequencies and high frequencies. W1FR also said in his report that medium frequency propagation appears to be improving as the solar cycle declines. Many long-time operators say that they have never seen anything like that. There have also been a number of openings from the U.S. West Coast deep into Europe. And now, a number of countries are permitting operation of amateur radio stations on the 630 meters band, including Germany, Greece, Malta, Monaco, Norway, Philippines, the Czech Republic, Ireland, Switzerland, New Zealand, Finland, Spain, France, Poland, Bulgaria, Canada, Vietnam, Japan, Cayman Islands, Union Islands, and Hungary, among others. It appears that now more than 100 DXCC entities have permission to operate on the segment of 630 meters, 472 to 479 kilohertz. In April of 2015, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, proposed a new secondary 630-meter allocation at 472 to 479 kilohertz for amateur radio use, implementing the decisions made at the World Radio Communications Conference 2012. At the same time, the FCC allocated a new low-frequency band, 135.7 to 137.8, that's 2,200 meters wavelength, to the amateur service on a secondary basis in accordance with the final acts of WRC-07. I am Anicoro in La Habana, Cuba. Amigos, this is Radio Havana Cuba. The name of the show is DXers Unlimited, present a comprehensive menu of radio hub-related items. Our next topic is about minimum parts count transmitters that have proven to be quite effective. An Italian radio amateur, Cristiano Greggio, amateur radio operator with code sign India Zulu 3 Charlie Quebec India, who is a long-time enthusiast of simple radio equipment, can be built using common hand tools at home and set to operate properly with a minimum number of test instruments available. Among Chris' most recent contributions to the art of simple transmitters is a single vacuum tube power oscillator that he has built and used on the air to make several two-way CW Morse code radio telegraphy contacts with other amateurs. The Hartley Hall power oscillator using a triode tube can be made quite stable, and also it was possible to make the keying nice sounding. Cristiano has also built a radio line receiver using very simple circuits. Si amigos, yes my friends, we miss a me. As our Italian radio amateur friend has demonstrated, it is possible to assemble a complete amateur radio station capable of operating on 160, 80, or 40-meter bands. For all practical purposes, Cristiano and yours truly agree that the best options are on the 80 and 40-meter bands, especially with a better chance of achieving nice two-way contacts on 40 meters, considering the present state of shortwave propagation conditions. Amazing as it may seem, the single vacuum tube Hartley Hall power oscillator right on frequency without noticeable drift after just a few minutes of warm-up time, and it puts out up to 10 watts output. By the way, the power supply unit required to operate this very simple minimal parts count transmitter is also a very simple circuit. You can end up with quite a nice station that will put out a nice signal on 40 or 80 meters, and that can be easily put back in service in the unlikely event of a breakdown. What you build yourself, you probably know how to fix yourself too. Needless to say that I'm already collecting parts to duplicate this unique antique radio project very soon. And now, our next Radio Hub-related, the most popular section of the show, Ask Arnie, now on the air. Listener Aurelio from Milan, Italy, asked about the specifications of several vacuum tubes that he obtained from a friend whose father was a radio amateur and had passed away. Among the collection of tubes that Aurelio now owns are several type 1625 World War II era tetrodes used by many aircraft radios. Amigo Aurelio, you will be surprised to learn that some of those sets are still flying aboard vintage aircraft still in service, like the Douglas C-47 Dakota and its civilian version, the rugged DC-3. Your 1625 tubes are the exact replacement for World War II command sets like the DC-457, 458, and 459, used by many amateurs when they became available as war surplus equipment in the 1950s. A single 1625 tube type fed from 300 to 400 volts DC power supply will make a very nice power oscillator transmitter similar to the one built by Amigo Cristiano Greggio, India, Zulu 3, Charlie, Quebec, India. Since that day, the transmitter has been refined and improved. No chirp at all now, only a residual thermal long-term drift due to a mechanically weak connection in the oscillating pack. It's going to be fixed. 65 QSOs, two-way contacts to date, mostly on 80, but also some on 40 meters. Now, at the end of the show, a quick propagation update. Zero sunspots seen. The solar activity is at very low levels, and we do expect several geomagnetic disturbances to happen during the next several days, caused by stream of charged particles coming from the sun. Send your zero reports and comments to info@rhc@enet.cu or via airmail to Arnie Coro, Radio Havana Cuba, Havana, Cuba.
And that's all for today. This is Arnie Coro, Radio Amateur CO2KK, your host here at Radio Havana's DXers Unlimited, saying 73 and very good DX.
Thanks, Arnie. Arnie Coro with DXers Unlimited. The weekend edition is also heard here on Radio Havana 2 on Sundays and Mondays, UTC days, and the midweek edition, twice a week. DXers Unlimited.